Hey, welcome friends and family. So excited to be here with you today from our Cookeville Elevate studio. And I just want to remind everyone that Elevate is a faith-led coaching and mentorship program with an emphasis on leadership. And speaking of leadership, today I have a phenomenal young man here with me, Derek Legg, who has had your real estate license, Derek, for about how long?
About a year before I came on.
Okay, about a year. Started off working at Exit Realty, did great company at that time, and was working with Miss Hill, Donita Hill, who now works here as well. And in that transition of when Donita came, Derek, we'd already kind of knew each other because you'd come to some men's Bible studies here.
Yeah.
But we really got to know each other during that time. And what impressed me about Derek was, guys, there's so many people today that young's just a number. This young man, he works hard, he's extremely determined, and he wants to be successful in life. And he believes that he can be. There's a lot of folks that even for myself, that light bulb really didn't turn on for me until probably in my 30s, and I had a couple kids. Derek's a young man who is at this time with no children, but has that natural drive to go after it. So one of the things that we enjoy doing is going through a book a quarter. This quarter, we're continuing. Derek got the end of the Grace Over Grind in chapter 7, and it talks a lot about the kingdom impact and how we're to be led by the Spirit of God, not just our carnal flesh. So I want to turn it over to you, Derek. You've started with us about the third week in January. You've now been with us just a little over a month. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. What did you learn a little bit? I'm excited to hear from you from the book Grace and Grind.
It kind of just reiterated a lot about faith and humility. And I think just the jump to come here was a lot in faith. Talking about a lot about kind of letting go of the reins and then turning it over and letting God do the work. I think that's definitely hard for a lot of men, and it's hard for me, for sure, to let go of some of that control. So that's definitely been a learning curve here of lately.
So that's a good point that you make, and I don't think that's easy for a lot of people to let go of control. May I ask you why you feel like that's a challenge sometimes? I mean, I'm sure all of us are challenged with it, but for you personally, like, what's that look like sometimes? Letting go of a job you were familiar with to come to something like this, 100% commission-based?
Yeah. So, change is hard for anyone, of course. But I think I'm so particular in how I want things a lot of the time that I like to know the details ahead of time. I told Elijah when I first was kind of talking with him about making the jump here that some people like to check their parachute before they jump out of the plane, and I like to check mine like 4 or 5 times before I jump out. And this was kind of like a jump and then trust that God had it packed for you and everything was taken care of. So,
And thankfully, Derek is again at the age of 22, just turned 22.
Just turned 22 in January.
So at the age of 22, you had somehow thought to put back a little money.
Yeah.
So you had a savings account. You also have already purchased a home, and we talk about that all the time. The average age of the first-time home buyer is now 40 years old. And here, when you were 20, you had already bought a home. So you're getting yourself out of that pile at a very young age. But for people that are my age, nearing 50, there always are things that we're a little scared to do. It's sometimes hard to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
How, may I ask, how did you get across that bridge? Was it what finally kind of helped you cross the bridge?
For the home purchase or for the jump to come there?
Let's do the home purchase first and then go to the jump. That's great, either.
The home purchase, I knew that, it had to be done. It was time to get out. So everything's scary until you do it the first time. I heard a quote the other day that said, "It's not hard, it's just new," and that's definitely the case in a lot of things. I mean, the example for it was that you learn a new language, like let's say French, but thousands of people spoke French all the time. Obviously, it's not difficult; it's just new.
Right.
It's just the uncomfortable. Is where you grow. So, and then as for coming here, that took a lot of talking with people, talking with family, and praying about it. And I think this is probably the first time that I've ever put my faith to the test. And so far, it's paying off. So
Amen. Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. And, you know, God has a purpose and a plan for all of us and times and seasons. And I think a lot of people kind of miss their time and season because they'll overthink it, or because of fear, you know, they don't go ahead and let their faith be tested.
Yeah.
So I like how you said that. But let's be honest too, man. A lot of times we don't change until we experience enough pain that we have to, or we get enough knowledge to know we need to, right?
Yeah.
And so for you, and now John Maxwell is the one who I learned that from. But for you, you started off at your previous job. You started off kind of at the grunt level, like we all do, and then you began to work your way up into management, right? But you had a boss that was a little hard-headed some days, right? And so there was a little friction there, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say, let me ask you this. Of course, you'd be honest with me, but did you make the transition over here because that was absolutely what you wanted to do, or did you experience enough pain over here that you're like, okay, I'm gonna do something different?
I mean, it's a little bit of both.
That's good.
A little bit of both, definitely. I'd come and talk to you after one big argument that we had. So I mean, there was pain there, but then I also knew that I have such high expectations for myself that I'm not going to get it at a W-2. I need something with unlimited potential, and this is something with unlimited potential.
Ooh, man, I love that. That's elevate right there. Unlimited potential. We don't put ceilings on how far up we can go.
No.
And so again, somewhere along the line, you knew you needed to take the lids off. I really like that. Okay, so man, thank you for walking us through that a little bit. Obviously, there was a little bit of pain, but there was also just an inward calling and enough wisdom to enough knowledge to know that, okay, if I worked in this position, then I'm the ceiling. I can go as far as I want to go.
Yeah, it's not chained to anybody else.
That's awesome, dude.
So.
I love that. So, Derek, that's awesome, man. Thank you for taking us through that journey. What is maybe one or two more things that you learned from the lessons in Chapter 7 from Grace and Grind, Grace Over Grind?
I think a big takeaway that I had was that it kind of reinstated the fact that I'm where I need to be. I'll read this out of it. It's something I underlined and I wrote next to it, elevate, because it reminded me of how this company is. And it says, practicing humility in business looks like building others up around you, championing others' ideas, acknowledging others and God for your accomplishments, forgiving others, admitting when you're wrong, and learning from criticism and feedback without defensiveness. And I think that's definitely a lot of how Elevate operates. So I think that was a big takeaway. And I think it just reinstates that I'm where I need to be right now. So
it's awesome, man. Love your heart. Love that you say that, Derek. Love that you believe that. I think a lot of times the Bible tells us that faith is the evidence of things unseen, but what is hoped for. Now, faith is the substance of things unseen, but the evidence of things hoped for. So we don't always know. And like you said, that isn't in your nature to be somebody that can just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow. In fact, a lot of times that isn't in our best interest. But when we get that tug or we feel that calling, then we've got to be willing to kind of let go and let God. And that isn't always a easy thing to do. But becoming coachable, being moldable, that is how we get further in life. And we don't want just anybody speaking into our lives.
Yeah.
We don't want just anybody coaching and mentoring us. But the Bible tells us this: we can tell a tree by its fruit. So when me and you first started talking, Derek, I knew immediately that you were different. I knew immediately that you were way more responsible, way more committed, that you were probably somebody that was very determined, that if you set your mind to a thing, you're going to do it.
Definitely.
And, for Lindsay and I, we appreciate you, that we invest strongly into the people that are in this community and in this group. And that word you said, criticism without taking offense. See, it's hard sometimes but it makes sense to me. If I think about it like this: if I'm playing baseball and I'm out there and I'm swinging the bat, and the coach says to me, hey, Elijah, when you swing, hold the bat here, put your elbow out more. And when you swing, follow through, don't stop. Now, if I get offended when he's telling me that, there's probably something wrong with me.
Yeah, it's pride.
Yeah, because this dude's a coach. He's doing it. He wants to make the whole team better, not just himself. So I agree. That's pride. But so many people have a hard time with criticism. But if you can look at it, and however you want to say it, critique, help you become better. But if we can look at it and not take it personal, but say like, yes, this is going to help me grow, so I could get better at what I do, so that I can put more food on the table, so that I can help, for you, Lord willing, your future family, your children. So, man, I'm very proud of you, Derek. I know the whole team is here. Love what you're doing, man. Thank you for taking time to share with us today. And I believe you got great success in your future. And thank you for bringing that value here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Folks, I hope that you get some value out of this. Please, if you do, like and share. We'd like to come back to you again next Tuesday. If we can do anything to help you in any way, whether it be selling or buying real estate, hey, if you're thinking about getting your start in real estate sales, give us a call, 931-283-2312. Thank you.